This is Jason Nickleby, Coordinator of Officials for the Minnesota State High School League, and this is training tape number 4. Hopefully you had some great games last week as we got started. It was nice to get out in the field and work some plays. Got a few more clips for you this week. Again, a reminder on these clips that we're not trying to pick on any one team or official or crew. We're just trying to learn from these clips, and hopefully that's working out for you as we go along with the season. So with that, let's get to the plays. On this play, I want to discuss the mechanics of handling a short punt. Referee, umpire in good initial position. Line judge, you'll release on the snap. Head linesman will start to float once the ball is kicked. Back judges, let's be a little bit more in the middle of the field, about 6-7 yards behind the return man, shaded toward the head linesman side. And then head linesman, when you notice that it's going to be short, you'll kill the clock twice. Referee will line you up. And then if you want to kill the clock or give it one more swipe and give a signal direction for first down, that would be great. So overall, pretty good coverage, just some fine tuning for handling a short punt, but overall, good work. On this play, I want to talk about fumble coverage. The running back will come up the middle, gets it stripped. Nice job by the officials ruling fumble. Good patient whistle. Line judge gets back as fast as he can, comes down in the white, and then signals touchdown when he gets down to the pylon. So good job. Just make sure you face the players in case something happens. Nothing happens here, but you just want to face players even when you rule touchdown at the pylon. And then referees, make sure we stay back, or any official for that matter. If you play fumble and the ball's out, let the play continue. And when it's clearly dead, then you can come in and close. And then you can peel players out of the pile. You can tap them on the shoulder and say, you're out, and you're out, and you're out, until you've got to the last person and you know who's recovered. And then the referee or anyone on the crew, once they know who has it, can signal. So just make sure we stay back. We just don't want anybody to get hurt. The ball squirts out on this play, and if we close too quick and it squirts the other way, then we're going to get run over. So just make sure we stay back. But overall, good coverage and good patient whistle. As we said in last week's tape and email, we want our referees to make announcements like they have a mic, so that when they do actually have a mic, they'll be ready for it. So in this case, we have a false start by the wide receiver at the bottom of the screen, and the line judge comes in, gives his preliminary to the referee so that he can quickly and efficiently make his announcement. And he clears the player so he can make his announcement. And our announcement this year would be dead ball, full start, offense number 2, 5-yard penalty, repeat third down. And then we'll mark off the penalty accordingly on the proper hash, which the umpire does here, and then we'll get back to playing football. So good job by the crew, good efficient penalty administration. Just a side comment, just make sure full starts, procedural type fouls, and any foul really, we just want to make sure that they're big, obvious, and in the case of a false start, we want to make sure it simulates the start of the play as it does here. So good job by the crew, good administration, well done. In this play, I want to talk about our mechanics when the ball is snapped on the 10-yard line and in and the 5-yard line and in. As discussed in last week's memo, our mechanics from that standpoint haven't changed. So if the ball snapped on the 10 and in, we're going to float to the 5, and then we're going to move on to the goal line as necessary. If it's snapped inside the 5, then we will go to the goal line and work our way backwards as necessary. Now, our mechanics have changed everywhere else on the field. So if it's a pass play at the 50-yard line, we're going to hold, and then when it's passed, we'll go. But inside the 10, our mechanics haven't changed in that regard. Now, those mechanics hold true for plays that are first, second down, possibly third down, but in this case we have fourth and short, and so the more important line, so to speak, is the line to gain and not necessarily the goal line. So what we would want to do here is, once the ball is snapped, float to the line to gain, and then if the line to gain is threatened, then stay there and officiate. If it's not threatened and that threshold has been broken. Now we want to get to the goal line and then work our way backwards. So the line to gain is more important at this stage because it's 4th down, and if they don't make that line, then the goal line isn't going to matter. So we just want to make sure that we're there to get the forward progress spot. And then as far as measurements are concerned, just make sure that we clear all the players, especially in TV games, so that we can see what's going on the TV perspective. And then if you have a 1st down, you don't have to bring the chains in. You can just bring the ball in and put it down in most cases. So just make sure we clear the players, and then if we have a 1st down, we don't have to bring the chains out. But if we don't have a 1st down and we're short, in this case we'd be turning around and going the other direction, 1st down for Team B. But if it becomes 4th down or becomes another down and they're going to keep it and it's short, then grab the chain link nearest the tip of the ball and then bring that out, referees, with the crew, put the ball down, and then we can get on with play. So, and make sure we also communicate clock status when we have measurements or lawn delays. So overall, I think we got it right, but just make sure we officiate that line to gain a little bit more closely, especially on 4th down, and then we can work our way to the goal line. I wanted to show this play because I think it's an excellent example of great mechanics by the crew. And in this case, the play develops towards the line judge. He maintains his spot like we want our line of scrimmage officials to do. And he lets the play develop in front of him, and then he officiates the players as he's getting the spot as opposed to just being focused on the spot. And a good job of passing on a late hit out of bounds. That's not what we want here, so good job there. And then the back judge hustles in, triangles the ball into the umpire, and we get the play underway again. So just very well done mechanically, holds his spot, lets it develop in front of him, gets good depth so that he doesn't get run over, and he still has an ability to officiate the play. So well done by this crew. On this play, I wanted to point out an excellent announcement and some good mechanics and just a reminder for our penalty enforcement. So we're going to have a full start on a punt play. It's a good get by the line judge because it's on the interior, which is tough with these spread punts. But a good job of getting this by the line judge. And then we have a very nice announcement by the referee. Remember, this year we'll include the number of the following player, but overall, very well done.
Dead ball. Full start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
So good job here. Just a reminder, make sure we communicate about clock status to the referee, so let them know what we're going to do, whether it's ready or snap or those kinds of things. And then umpires, I've mentioned before, I would recommend that we wear 2 down indicators so that we enforce the penalty from the proper hash if we do have that. And in this case, we were on the right middle hash rather, and then we end up enforcing the penalty from the left middle hash, which in the grand scheme of things is not a huge deal, but if it were to be a field goal attempt, for example, and we move from one hash to the other, that can become a big advantage or disadvantage depending on the kicker. So just something to be aware of as we move forward, but overall, good get for the full start and a nice announcement. I wanted to show this play because we have some excellent coverage, and then we have a helmet off of the quarterback on a sack. So first, referee, excellent depth, stays out of the way even though it turns back towards him, and then properly kills the clock when the helmet comes off the quarterback. So nicely done there. And then I just point out this play because mechanically well done killing the clock. But the second piece is number 7, I believe, is their punter. And you don't want to let this player back into the game when he's supposed to sit out for a down with the helmet coming off, because obviously that's a big advantage if their starting punter is out there versus the backup. So we want to be aware of that mechanically as a crew, which number had his helmet off, and that he does in fact stay out for 1 down, and that includes timeouts, and that includes in between quarters. Now the only way that they're going to buy their way out of it, so to speak, is if we have halftime or a overtime intermission. So just something to be aware of. Mechanically, make sure we communicate who the player was that had his helmet come off, and then make sure that he does in fact sit out for 1 down. So well done by the crew, good communication with the coach, and well done mechanically. Very good. Some good plays again this week. Hope you have some great games on Friday, and have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.